Express R53. Now, this car is a triumph of engineering for its time, in my opinion. It's a 2005 facelift model in pure silver. It's modified, which if you've seen other videos on my channel, you will know how it is modified. And it is a really, really, really epic car to drive. So picking 5 things that I love about it doesn't really do it justice. Maybe it should be 10, but I'm sticking to 5, and that's what's happening. So number 1, looks. Now, I think this car is stunning. I think it is a gorgeous looking car. It carries that heritage of Mini whilst also giving it a modern twist, and this car really does just look beautiful from every angle, from every angle of the car, the rear, the side, or the profile, the front. This car is doing something that's aesthetically enjoyable to my eyes. So the looks are definitely something to shout home about. I'm going to insert some, let's say, archived footage from previous videos showing the looks of the car, because it's really wet and my car is also covered in bird poo right now, so not ideal. Not ideal in any way. And the looks lead me into the second point, the sounds. Now the sounds of this car, wow. I mean, I'm running a reduced supercharger pulley, enlarged and lightweight crankshaft and alternator pulleys, and a loud Toyo Sports exhaust. And this car is loud. There is no getting around the fact that the sounds that this car make, the exhaust note is deep and booming. The whine of the supercharger, it is absolutely enjoyable to hear those sounds at the right time. Now there are times when hearing those sounds, it's the wrong time, but I'm sticking to the things I love, and that's definitely one of the things I love. So how this car sounds is addictive, and it's addictive. And what's also addictive is the way the car handles. Now this car, on stock suspension which I'm running, it's incredible. It really is. You can go into corners at speed, confident that you're going to come out the other side. It really, really handles well. It handles spot on, and when you couple that with the right type of tyre, and I've got some Falcons on mine, which I'll put the name of the Falcons I've got up on the screen there. It sticks in wet surfaces. I'm not worried about what's happening whilst I'm driving. When it comes to water, when it comes to tight corners, this car can manage them, and it can manage those things at speed. It's great. The handling is great. It really is. And I know that with coilovers, you can dial that handling in even more. These cars are used a lot on track. Now, my car isn't a track car. It's not going to be a track car. It's a let's bash some B roads and enjoy driving it, not that far away from my house sort of car. But it gives me and provides all of the experience that I want from it when I'm looking at having a mini hot hatch, something that is great to chuck around lanes. This car provides it with its handling. It really does. Number 4, drivability. Now I know drivability is quite a broad term. I don't intend to make it any more diluted. I've talked about handling, but when I say drivability, I mean the experience behind the wheel. I mean the analog nature of how this car drives. And it is analog. It requires input from the driver. There's not many cars out there, even from 2005 when this car was produced, that require as much input as this car, or can require as much input. You can drive these cars sedately, but they like living on the edge. They really do. So having that analog analog nature coupled with the handling, the fact that the steering, you feel it, you feel where you're going, you feel what you're doing regarding the steering, you get that feedback. Hearing the car move up and down the gears and how that changes the note of the engine, all of those sort of aspects, you know, it's, unless you've driven one, it's really, really hard to explain exactly what I mean, as you can tell from how I'm waffling on about it. But there is something special about how to drive these cars and how you manage to drive them, and it's hugely enjoyable to, see, there we go, left it in first there. Didn't get quite as much traction as I was hoping there, but whatever, let's clip that bit out. But yeah, the analog experience of this car compared to, let's say, my Golf, or even compared to some of the cars that would have been around at the same time as this, the feedback is completely different to other cars. It really is. It's unique in many ways, being supercharged, which is part of that drivability. It's part of that driving experience, is the fact that the car is supercharged rather than turbocharged or naturally aspirated. And in a car of this size, you don't see it very often. Let's just get a head start. But that pull away from the lights there is proof in point of the drivability factor. The way that the car accelerates, the whole experience of the car, the sounds, the smells of occasional oil leaks, all of these things really do jump into the drivability aspect of the car, and it doesn't let you down. You get into it and you do have a smile on your face fairly quickly. You know, you get into second gear, especially if you've got a modified car like I have with the reduced supercharger pulley, etc. You put it in gear and you just go. And the fifth reason, last but not least, is the ability to modify these cars. Now, these cars are quite easy to modify, but it's more about the fact that it gives you a scope to do so many different types of modification in a far easier way than you would find in a lot of other cars. The fact that it's supercharged, right, okay, it's relatively inexpensive to up your power by reducing your supercharger pulley. So you're modifying the performance of the car for not a lot of money. Whereas if you were to have to get, you know, an increased size turbo, that's going to cost you a lot more money on a turbocharged car than to reduce the size of a pulley on a supercharged car. So the ability to modify the car is brilliant. Cosmetically, you can do so much to these cars. I've done a fair bit inside and out, but you can do so much to them to make them your own. And I think in you know, the world we live in today, where a lot of cars look pretty similar, the ability to be able to make your car look unique to you, at least, or, you know, put your own stamp on it in a relatively inexpensive yet noticeable manner, is a hugely important thing. And it's definitely one of the USPs of a Mini Cooper S R53. It's definitely the fact that you have that opportunity. F***ing lane discipline, you moron. But yeah, so let's calm down, because I do get angry quite easily. So let's calm down. Basically, there's many things to love about an R53 Mini Cooper S. There really is. There's a lot of things to love. I love more than what I've listed there, and to be fair, trying to explain just how many reasons there are to love this car whilst driving it does make it pretty difficult. And the reason it makes it difficult is because you're driving this with a smile on your face at all times. You're having to input into the car whilst driving, which is why when I'm trying to talk about drivability whilst driving the car, that's why I sound like I'm talking utter crap. But I love this car. I love these cars. I think they look great, they handle well, they drive superbly, they make excellent sound, and they're easy to modify and relatively inexpensive to modify. That's my 5 things that I love about my Mini Cooper S R53. As I'm stuck in slow moving traffic in Exeter. Now at least. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more, then please check out my YouTube channel, turn on notifications, and of course subscribe. And until the next time, I've been me, you've been you, and well done for that.